Are you ready for another great show? Come on, I know you are. I can't wait to see the comments from today's show. So, I am your host, Jessica Koch. And this is Profound Professionals. We are an interview series that has been coming to you for almost 10 years now. Can you believe it? I can hardly believe it. So, we bring you industry experts from all over the world, and they help improve your personal life and they can help you grow your business. And today we have someone super special. You gotta love uh, someone who embraces dream chasers, because I know I do. Laura isn't just any business counselor. She is a true champion for dream chasers. So all you dream chasers out there, perk up your ears, and business builders. So if you're building a business based on a dream, based on a passion, based on something amazing, you're really going to want to listen to today's episode. Welcome, Laura. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessica.
It's my pleasure. Okay. So here we go. Tell us, how did you become the advocate for dream chasers and business builders?
Well, I have built three businesses on myself, and I know how difficult it is. And so my passion is to help other business owners not have to go through the steps and horrible things that occurred while I was building my business and just make it easy and simple and fun for them.
Hmm. I love that. And so people are coming to you because they have a dream to build a business. They already are building a business. Where are they in their process, and kind of what's the little thing poking them just hard enough to say, I need a Laura in my life. Usually it takes a little bit of a pinch, that little bit of this isn't quite right and this hurts a bit. I need some help, for someone to raise their hand or seek someone special out like you.
Sure. So most of my one-to-one clients are at least 3 years into business. So they've tried doing it on their own. They keep trying to grow and they just feel stuck. And so that's the impetus for them to start looking for someone to help
Mhm.
them. And I am not a business coach. I call myself a mentor
Mm.
because I really believe that you coaches ask questions and allow you to come to your own conclusions. But after 37 years in business, it's very difficult for me to just be quiet as they're going down some strange paths. So
Mhm.
I'm a mentor, and also because I really walk alongside my clients to keep them on track. So when we set their roadmap of where they are today and how we're going to get to where they want to be, I'm with them all the way to discuss the obstacles that they're having and try different things. And so that's me. I do mentoring, but I also do group coaching for larger
Mhm.
businesses, businesses that have 50 to 200 employees, and I work with their emerging leaders
Mm.
because everybody's there for the C-suite, but
Mhm.
I don't, if you've read the E-Myth, a lot of people they go into business for themselves, or if you're a really good salesperson, they move you to sales management and you have no idea how to manage people and be leaders and things like that. So I laughingly say I take these emerging leaders and I polish them up and get them ready to move up and be leaders and
Yeah, and sometimes you
other
just don't
people.
know what your gifts are until you are shifted in a new position, truthfully, or what your gifts are not, right? Or where your
Mhm.
joy does not lie. Because I was a high level salesperson. We did really high level contracts and government contracts, national government contracts, really big organizations. We dealt with some of the largest power providers in the world and universities, and so big contracts, right? For the
Mhm.
firms that I was working for as a salesperson. And really, I did speaking, and I started so young, I didn't even know that speaking was something you were supposed to be afraid of. I was told this is what you're supposed to go say and do. And so I went and said and did that, and it seemed like normal.
Yep.
Um, but I didn't really manage a sales team. And then I moved into some other positions later on in my career where I was managing and training sales teams. And I was like, wow, I'm really good at this and I like it. I didn't have any idea, And now I own my own firm and I manage a virtual assistant team. We have an agency and we have a large number of VAs and I just really enjoy it. And for some reason, I have a natural instinct for how to, well, I'm also a mom of a lot of children and stuff. So to nurture them and to cheer them on and to inspire them to do well, even when no one's looking. And to bring them into the mission of the and vision of our company and our clients' missions, and so really make them feel like they're a part of something, and bonuses. And we're rolling out new, I've been working on it for a very long time, new like profit sharing overall, and all those things that make people feel invested in ownership, even if they aren't the entrepreneur or owner of the business, right?
Sure. It's so funny because everybody's talking about retention these days, that they're having a really hard time retaining people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have interviewed a lot of people that have left, and the number one reason is that they feel like a number and that nobody cares about them.
Yeah,
So if you're
appreciation.
giving them training and you're giving them all the gifts and, like you said, cheering them on, there's not a lot of that occurs in a lot of
Mhm.
businesses. That's what makes them stay.
Yeah, and I always feel like I'm always asking myself or evaluating to think like I have a list of more, there's more I can do, right? I can do better at that, right? I'm always looking at that. What else can I do for my team, or what else do they need, or what is it that they really want? And trying to get the time with them. It sometimes is even hard for me just to get that one-on-one, not because I'm so busy, but because they're so busy serving our customers so well
Sure. Yeah.
that they got to squeeze me in. But just to give that check in, because what mattered to them a year ago when I hired him, or 2 years ago when I hired him, may not matter to them anymore. And I love that you are working with these emerging leaders. I really think that's something that the company CEOs that are listening right now should think about, because if you have someone that is really nurturing those people into the next leadership level, you won't find yourself really strapped in
Mhm.
bad situation when one of your top leaders moves on for a better offer somewhere else. You'll be able to fill it with someone who has been groomed for the position, and for that advancement, and is ready for it, and then isn't going to, be set up to fail, right? Because that often happens. They'll
Oh, yeah.
promote within, but then they've set that person up to not have the best opportunity to achieve what they're hoping for. So
Agree.
if someone is thinking, okay, my company needs you, or, I need you, I've got a dream, I've got a business, I've been going along for a year now, or 3 years now, or whatever, and it doesn't look exactly the way I want, this idea of a plan and a path and guidance from Laura sounds fantastico. What do I do next?
The best thing that you can do is go to LinkedIn and find me, Laura Lorenz, because the bulk of my work and my thought leadership is on there.
Mhm.
And you could also go to my website, which is www.topfloormentoring.com. Pretty easy.
So say it again. Top floor mentoring.
Mentoring.com. Yep.
Okay, topfloormentoring.com. All right, that's lovely. All right, so a tip, give everybody a tip, something they can do for their teams, for themselves, for their own business, that is going to make some sort of real difference today.
One of the things that I find personally as I'm working with people is, even if they're not leader, or so if they're just the basic employee, personal leadership is the key to making sure people see you and stand out.
Mhm.
Um, and for the business owners, I 100% agree with you. They really need to be thinking about, how do they groom that next level of
Mhm.
employee? And if it's not me, it should be somebody else, because it's desperately needed in your
Yeah.
organizations.
Yeah, and on the same note, the C-suite needs their support too,
Hmm.
because how a C-suite works with that next emerging leader is so important and can be detrimental to your organization.
Yeah,
So
agree.
having the right mindset, having the right, using the right words, And having the right plan. I'll never stop loving the 1 minute manager, really
Ah,
empowering people to take on their, really have their own plan put before them and be able to work it clear and simplistically and successfully. It's all about, I'm going to keep repeating this, but setting people up so that they can truly succeed. And what is and looking at what does that mean? Like what are the actual action steps you can take? And that one page plan and that 1 minute manager concept is just so powerful.
yep, I
Um,
agree.
yeah.
Totally, totally agree. The other thing I would say to corporate leaders is you have a vision, you've gotten the company culture set up, but what I see a lot of the time is as you raise up, you're not walking the walk of the company. So you can tell your employees all the time what that culture is, but if you're not behaving like the culture,
Hmm.
there's a real problem and a disconnect there.
Yeah, well, when they hit that first big boom of growth, often what happens is the original founders and the main C-suite, the culture that they have in their minds does remain within that circle, but it forgets to spread and embrace and pull in and make feel included the
Mhm.
new team members. And so then you end up with two cultures, one that isn't sure exactly where they fit or how, and they're hearing what the culture is over here and maybe even seeing evidence of it, but then you become disjointed as an
Mhm.
organization.
Mhm.
And that's a shame because I don't think it's anyone's intention, and they can't always, because the forest for the trees can't see it happening, which is why
Mhm.
outside consultant hiring of all kinds is so very valuable. And there's a trick to that too, because whoever you hire outside, and this is great advice for you mid to size larger companies, is make sure that you help the main person that they're going to that consultant's going to support at the high level feels like this is to help you with your position, not because I don't feel like you're doing your position well, right? This is a resource for you because you're already overloaded and already overtaxed. We want you to have this person and this resource to support you in achieving XYZ goal in the company, so that the consultant is able to truly integrate and provide the service and do the work successfully you're trying to do for the company. Otherwise, that individual could possibly block the success, or without even intending to. You're always dealing with human beings, right? And ego and human nature,
Mhm.
and you have to do it gently and lovingly. And often, one of the keys to great sales, we have to use our Jedi powers for good, is helping people come to a thought process that feels like it's their own,
Yep.
right? And I think that that's really key in having consultants come in and making those people still feel empowered and not like their job is in trouble.
That is such a great point because that can happen. There's no doubt.
Mhm. Yeah, it does. I'm not a spring chicken. I've been around the block a time or two.
You and me both, Jessica.
I had
This
all
isn't blonde. This is gray.
this well, I'm hiding mine mostly. Some of it peeks out, but um I'll share this quick story just because it's so darn funny. I had a CFO of a power company that I kept asking me to come back, had me come back for meetings, had my leadership come in once for a meeting. My leadership finally said, "Stop following up with this guy." CFO, this big power company, because he was just kind of stringing us along. I said, "No, no, I have a feeling." And I just gently stayed with him whenever he asked me to. "Oh, check back with me in the spring," he'd say. "Oh, check back with me in the fall," he'd say. And I would just check back and ask him how the kids were and the wife, and I wouldn't even ask for the business anymore.
Mhm.
And then the day came where the phone rang, and this CFO said, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm at my new job. I'm at my brand new position at a new company. I want you to come in and do the looking and the work that your team does, so that I can look really good in my first year. Oh, and by the way, the new guy at the company I used to be at, where you used to call me, here's his number. I've already told him to meet with you, and you're going to do the work with that company. And the guy I took his job, he came from over here. I've made an introduction for you that I ended up with several
Oh,
contracts."
That is the way that you want to do it.
But you know why? Because it was his idea. He was
Mhm.
in control. He
Yep.
had a plan of how this was going to work and what he wanted to do. And I let him lead the boat. I just followed his direction.
Mhm.
And that was the key to a really big, successful cascade of sales like that. That, I mean, not like that. Took me 3 or 4 years of just
Yeah.
nurturing in the background. But when you follow up, and it took me what, a few minutes,
Yeah.
once a month or something, and then bam, my commission blew up like crazy sauce.
Fabulous. What a great story. I love it.
So, okay, all the great tips from Laura, all the fun stories from us. We're so glad you're listening. And now get typing, because if you have a nonprofit you care about and that's close to your heart, we want to spread awareness. We want to inspire someone out there to give time, treasure, or talent to something great, bigger than all of us, right? Let's stretch out our legacy and our gratitude and our positive abundance into all kinds of organizations far, far bigger than just Laura and I. So, Laura, share with our audience a cause that's close to your heart.
Parkinson's. It,
Ah,
yeah,
that's a
my
good one.
husband, who is 56 years old, has early onset Parkinson's.
Oh,
And, you know, just recently, thank God for Michael J. Fox, people are
mhm.
actually paying attention and trying to help and trying to solve. But yeah, I mean, there's so much to be done in that disease.
Yeah, he was such a great. Is he still with us, Michael J. Fox?
Mhm. Yep, not gone yet.
That's wonderful. He was one of my favorites as a child in some of the shows. I think Family Ties or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and all the Back to the Futures and all that jazz,
Yeah.
just a good human, and I'm so glad that he's winning over this. And he's having victory. And I wish you much winning in your and victory in your household as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that. So that just might inspire you or give you an idea, or even if it just inspires you to remember that you had something out there that you love, and you haven't had a chance, or life got away from us and gets busy. Just reach out and see what they need.
Mhm.
And you share some time, treasure, or talent to someone else who needs it. So thanks for sharing that. All right, don't stop typing in the comments. We need more. We need you to share the books that inspired you, or maybe out there you're an author. Hey, if someone is got a big heart and they decide to share our post, someone might just see the book you've written. So any book that inspired your personal life, helped you grow your business, or you wrote, put it in the comments. Everyone's going to share away, and we're all going to rise together. So let's start with a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow a business, your business, Laura.
This is going to show you how possibly old I am. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People
Behind my head.
rocked my world. And I was so lucky that he actually came to the corporation that I was working with and spoke to us. And it was just, I mean, obviously better than the book because it's in person, right? Yeah, so I was very, very lucky to actually have met him.
You lucky duck. Did you get him to sign a book?
I did.
Ah, smart cookie,
It,
smart cookie.
it's
All
hidden
right.
away so it doesn't get dog-eared.
You know, cracks me up that his eighth habit book is actually thicker and longer than the seven habits.
Mhm.
just
I've
goes to
read
show you,
everything he's written after
just
meeting him.
goes to
I'm just
show you, yeah.
a brilliant man. Absolutely.
Just goes to show you that eighth habit really was important, because he wrote
Probably.
more on one habit than he did on seven. I mean, if you haven't read them, go check out, figure out the
Yeah,
mystery.
great books.
And
Great.
Laura is an author. Tell us
I
about
am.
your book.
I did. Back when I had a marketing agency, I wrote a book called Do Leadership. And
Hmm.
at the time, when people were thinking about thought leadership and talking about thought leadership, it was very pie in the sky, esoteric. I wrote a book that gives you step by step exactly how to become a thought leader in your marketplace. So you can find it
Mm.
on Amazon. You just gotta type in "do leadership," and yeah, that was it.
Oh,
It,
give
it
us
is.
some of the steps. Did any of it incorporate social media
Oh yeah,
or?
a lot of it. I mean, you have to do the strategy part around what you want to do with your
Mhm.
thought leadership. So find your voice and who you are. Once you do that, then you go towards the tactics, and it's,
Mhm.
you know, LinkedIn and Facebook. I don't believe we had TikTok in there because it was pre-TikTok.
Yeah,
Um,
pre-TikTok.
yeah, but it's also newsletters and emails and all of the things. Once you've figured out the pillars of things that you want to talk about your industry, and
Mhm.
everybody's like, "Well, I'm not a thought leader." I'm like, yeah, you are. You know more than your clients do, or you wouldn't be in business,
That's
right?
right. Well, do you feel like based on when it was written, because I know, for example, I've been told by others, and I'm actually just exploring this book myself, that Pinterest for Dummies, which was written a long time ago, the principles, the majority of the book, I don't know, 85, 90%, whatever, I'm making up percentages here,
Mhm.
is still very relevant today on the
Oh,
strategy of how they have you post and the guidance they're giving. Do you feel like the I know you've written the book a while ago, so do you feel like the components of your book still hold really strong as far as
yes,
success on these
yes.
platforms
The
today?
basic, here's how you do this may not be,
Exactly the same,
date,
yeah.
but the basics of how to do that are totally there, and they
Yeah.
have been for a while.
Yeah, I find that it's fascinating from a sales standpoint. I really love the tried and true traditional uh, sales skills combined with relationship and automation and social media, real person and AI. I feel like it's not this or that. It's all the things, and how to intertwine them into a tapestry that works and speaks to your brand and to your audience now, right?
Mhm.
When you can use your some of I think some of the art of having a conversation, having an icebreaker, having building a relationship, whether in person networking or virtual networking, these are things that we
Mhm.
learned back in the day, right?
Yep,
In really special ways. And we had fun games to do them. And there were all these principles and things we said,
yep,
when we were on the sales floor. I mean, we were wearing out the bottoms of our shoes. We practiced and learned in small little pods and went door to door and talked to business owners about the latest and greatest, whatever thing was happening with whatever company we were representing as a firm. And you learn a lot about how to read someone, how to really respect people of all cultures, how to communicate with them, and then still have a successful sale, and a service that provides that person a relief from a pain or a problem that they have. And a lot of that is dying art. I was just talking to someone too. I did a lot of boardroom CFO and their entire team phone conferences. They were using the Cisco machine in the middle of the boardroom. I was on a phone, like a
yep,
landline,
yep.
and we were having a meeting. And I had to listen for the hems and the haws in the room and the breaths and the pauses. And when I was in the presentation, where did they stop me? And I had to figure out by sound only, no body language, how did that work? And that's not a skill a lot of people have.
No, no, I agree. I mean, in my corporate program, we work several months on communication and different facets of that. I tell people, if we would all learn how to communicate with people
Mhm.
appropriately, we'd solve a lot of problems in the world.
We would. And, I say having the in person, and the virtual in person is what we're doing right now.
Mhm.
It's almost cheating because I mean, I didn't even get to see them. I can see whether you lean in, whether you sit back, whether you cross your arms, all of these are physical cues of where am I in our conversation. Is she
Absolutely.
open to hearing me? Does she want more? Should I be quiet and ask more questions and listen more, which is always yes. Um,
Mhm.
all those things. So I love that. that your book and your training and your programs are really helping these business builders reach their dreams. And you know what? It's that ripple effect of when they have a successful business and they reach their dreams, they're helping their clients reach theirs, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then those clients are then impacting someone else in the world in some beautiful symphony of a way. I just heard a quote, and I don't have the quote verbatim, but Gandhi said something along the lines of, "We it's impossible for us to separate ourselves from, let's just call them the least of desirable humans maybe on the planet. We cannot separate ourselves from them as we're all connected. We're all, joined. So the more overflow of positive and good and love and healing and grace and forgiveness that we can push out there, and like what you're providing for your business builders with chasing their dreams, the better the world will be, right? I think that
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's really a thing. I have loved having you on the show today, Laura.
Thanks. It's been fun. Really fun.
I'm glad you liked it. If
Yeah.
you're out there thinking, wait, I could improve someone's personal life, I totally could grow someone's business. I have books I've written, I have things to say. Well, get on our show. We're profound professionals. Reach out to me and my team, and we'll let you know just what to do to get yourself signed up. And good news for all the podcast guests, future coming, and love to all my past guests over the years. We are improving the ease of the sign up process. It's still not finished, but we're working on it. So every day, all of us can just do the best to be an even better version of ourselves than we were before.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
always perfecting the systems. So before we say goodbye, everyone, we would love Laura to share with us a final thought, some information or inspiration as we go today, Laura.
I don't know who said this, and I should look it up because it's my favorite quote, but the emphasis is life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. And if
Mm.
you aren't out there on the edge of your comfort zone, you can be bigger and you can do more with your life.
That is a beautiful, beautiful thing to say. And I have been your host today, and this has been our beautiful guest, Laura. This show is Profound Professionals. And until next time out there, everybody, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody. You are going to laugh. The funniest thing. So I think we should leave and come right back because the start stream never started, but we were been streaming the whole time, and the stop stream never came up. So we're probably still streaming right now. So
Okay.
I can't press the button, but call me on my cell phone and we'll get together, and I'll edit this part off of the end of the show. That's live, everybody. Sometimes the streaming tool works, and sometimes it just
Yeah.
doesn't shut off until you say goodbye all the way. All right, Laura, thank you. I'll give you a
Okay. Bye-bye.